Well, thank you so much for staying with us. And thanks again to our sponsors for, sponsoring our show. Again, we would never be able to have our show without our sponsors. So thank you so much. And we ask all of you to patronize our sponsors and to buy their products. So we were talking before we had our break about backyard chicken farming. And so we were talking about how you get them in the mail. And like I said, if you order from a hatchery, they usually require you to get 10 or 12 birds. And if you have a small amount like that, if you don't have them lit, like we were talking about having them lit so that they, with under a heat lamp is what I'm talking about when I say have them lit, so that they stay warm. If you don't do that, sometimes they'll huddle together so closely that some of them will suffocate. And if you have the light on them, then they can spread out, they can all breathe well, but they all stay warm enough and they don't have any issues. So for a couple weeks, you're going to want to do that if you have them in the summertime. In the winter, you'll probably have your light on them for a good 4 weeks, especially at night when the sun goes down and when it's cooler. Unless you have them in your home. And a lot of people in the wintertime, they will bring their peeps into the basement. And, they keep their house warm so they don't have to keep them lit quite as long. But so you're going to have your chicks nice and warm around that 4-week time. They weren't even going to need any light at night. If these are your first girls, you don't have to worry about, your older, bigger girls attacking them. But if this is like your second batch, you always need to make sure that you're very careful, because your older girls will pick on and sometimes even kill your young girls. So like I always keep our new ones separated for a period of time and then acclimate all of them together very gradually. And we do it. We have 2 separate coops and we have a run for the little ones that the other ones get exposed to them, but they can't get to them. And then they all get acclimated. And then one day we'll open up that run and let everybody out together. But we do that very gradually so that no one gets picked on or hurt. Now, it's going to take, like I said, about 5 to 6 months for those little peeps to become hens and start actually laying. And their first eggs, we call those pullet eggs because they're young and they are going to be smaller. So you want to make sure that you, are expecting that, and they are a smaller egg. But they are very, very fine to eat. Some people are like worried, are they okay to eat? Those eggs are just fine to eat. You're just going to have a couple more of them. Now, in the summertime, all of us that are chicken farmers, we notice that there is some odor from our chickens. And if you are doing this in the city, you are going to have some issues with that, especially if you keep your chickens contained. Now, we don't have near that problem. I mean, it's still sort of odorsome in the coop itself, but outside of the coop, it's not, terribly odorsome. But it's because the chickens can run everywhere. There's 6 acres and they can run pretty much anywhere they want besides in the store. And we try to keep them out of the store. But if you do have a run and you have to keep them inside because of where you live, or because of issues with predators and things like that, it can get to have some odor to it. And to help with that, there are some nice products. A Spoma company has a product called Santa Care, and it works great to sprinkle out in your chicken coop, in your chicken run, and it helps absorb the odors. It is a nice grit, so it doesn't, get all nasty, but it works out very, very well. So you want to do something to control your odor. We use diatomaceous earth also, and it is in several of these odor controlling products that you can purchase. And we do carry the Santa Care at our store. So if you are starting to get into the chicken farming business, or want to have some just for your own use, just eggs for yourself, for your family, we do carry these products. We also carry egg gathering baskets and little treats for the chickens and different things like that. So if you want to have a few of those things, we do carry those. And we can get you in contact with feed suppliers that do supply all non-GMO organic feed for your chickens if you're wanting to do that as well. But you need to make sure that you are prepared. This is a commitment, like the Humane Society will say, when you get an animal, this is a commitment. This isn't something that you're just doing for the holiday or something. So if you are thinking about getting chickens, you want to make sure that you are prepared for this commitment. It's not just a thing that you do at Easter and for the fun of it. It is a commitment. It is some work. They need attention, pretty much every day. If you have a small amount of chickens in a run, you can give them some extra feed so that you don't have to do it every single day and they would be okay for a couple days. Water is crucial. Clean water is crucial in the summertime. You want to make sure anytime, but in the heat, they really, really need to make sure that they have some nice clean water to drink all the time. In the wintertime, you really need to make sure that your water doesn't freeze. So a lot of times people will put the water inside the coop in the wintertime because it will stay warmer in there with the chickens in there. And when it gets really cold, some chickens like to stay inside. So inside the coop will stay warmer so the water won't freeze as quickly. But making sure that they always have clean water and feed is very, very important. If they are free range, they are going to be eating all kinds of other things, not just the feed that you give them. They're going to be eating bugs and worms and all kinds of things. You would be surprised how chickens will chase down a mouse and eat it just like a cat would. So it's really interesting, what chickens will eat. If you have more questions that you would like us to answer about backyard farming, chickens, goats, different things like that, or if you would like us to come and speak to your group, we would always, enjoy doing that for you. And we do that quite a bit. If you have questions about anything, you can always give us a call at 330-455-5997. You can email me your questions at Cindy Petitti at gmail.com. That's CindyPetitti at gmail.com. Or better yet, stop in at the store, visit our chickens, visit our farm as well as the greenhouses, and we can hopefully answer your questions for you there at 5828 Columbus Road. We are in Nimishillen Township. We have a Louisville address. We're right on the corner of Columbus Road and Broadway. And we would love you to stop out at the farm and visit us and all the things that we have to offer. Right now, a lot of you are seeing fresh local blueberries in your grocery stores. We do carry fresh local organically grown blueberries at our store. But we also have the plants. So if you would like to grow them at your home, we do have blueberry plants. We need to make sure that you do remember a couple things with blueberries. They need a very, very acidic soil. And you have to have at least 2 different varieties to get cross-pollination so that you have blueberries. So Blue Ray is a very, very common one. But if you buy 2 blueberry bushes, you will have no blueberries. You'll need to have a Blue Crop or a Patriot or a Jersey to cross-pollinate with that. So that is something that you need to consider when you are considering blueberry plants. And they are wonderful to have. Actually, some of the blueberry plants that we have at the store produced blueberries this year, so it was great. Outside watering, you could go ahead and harvest some blueberries. It was great. Also, we have a lot of fruit trees, and our apple trees are on sale at 10% off. We have several different varieties of apple trees. We also carry peach trees and cherry trees. We are sold out of pear, but we do have some apricots, and we are sold out of plums. So, but if you are interested in starting maybe a little mini orchard or just having 1 or 2 trees, it's a great time to go ahead and get them planted and get them in the ground before winter. They have time to get their root system established. Anytime this fall is a great time to plant any of your fruit trees or your berry bushes. You can also still put in your strawberry plants, raspberries, currant, all of those things, all of those edibles. And also like the goji berry or the hardy kiwis. We also carry the fig trees. Fig trees are hardy. They're called a Chicago hardy, and they are hardy to be planted outside. They do need some additional protection so that you will get figs. You will get more figs if you bring them in for the winter, and we can always show you how to do that. So you can bring them into your own house, or if you want to bring them back to the greenhouse, we do offer that service where we will take care of them for the winter for you in the greenhouse. Also, if you were thinking about maybe a citrus tree, you would love to have a grapefruit tree or a lemon or a lime tree, we still have those available also. Now, those have to come in for the winter. You want to bring them in before the first frost. And also we have the service for them as well. So if you would like to get a lemon tree, they have the most wonderful fragrant blossoms, those tropical trees, just wonderful. And they bloom in the winter as well. So you can make your house smell wonderful with those, but they do need some really good light. They are not a deciduous tree. They will lose some leaves in the transition from being outside to going inside, but they will keep their leaves, and they do need good light. So if you have a well-lit room, even a Florida room that is like a 3-season room, you can leave it out there until it gets really cold, and then just bring it in for the few months that it's very cold out, and it would do fine in that room. But wonderful trees to have. It's wonderful to be able to have your own fruits, your own vegetables. If you would like to have other questions answered or have someone come and speak to your group about any of these topics, please give me a call at 330-455-5997. Well, here we are, back to the end of another show. We will be back with you next week right here on the Light at 8 a.m. Next week also, I will be at the Canton Farmers Market answering gardening questions. So if you would like to come down and bring your gardening questions to me there, I would be glad to answer them for you. Today, there are farmers markets going on in Alliance and in Canton. Don't forget the Plain Township Farmers Market that is on Wednesday evenings, and the Tuscarawas County Farmers Market that is on Wednesday evenings. So you have the opportunity right now to, just have wonderful produce from local and oftentimes organically grown farmers having their produce at these local farmers markets if you're not growing your own. I want to thank you all for being with us, and have a blessed week.